let's just give people a couple more minutes. Kinda didn't post the announcement yesterday, so let's see if announcement today works. In the meantime, thanks for joining, everybody. How's it going? I'm still a little bit debating on what to draw today, but I have a few ideas for our summer of world building project, and probably we'll start digitally. I thought I want to try to do digital thumbnails first, both to practice digital drawing and also to keep it more interesting. And maybe then when we already have some solid ideas digitally, we can draw them traditionally with watercolor or just inking. I think we need something more uplifting to start the stream. Let me change the music. Maybe the classic. I kinda always start the stream with this song. Don't know why. Alright, I think it's about time to get started with actual drawing and all that stuff. Last time, as you remember, for the summer, I decided to do summer of world building project, and we're building this kind of world of, it's called World of Windhunters, just to make it more epic sounding. Yeah, and we did basically the premise is that the earth is covered in water. Hey, good morning, Nervin. How's it going? Yeah, so the earth is covered with water, and we have people who live on the sea and people who live in the sky. And this was from the last stream's water village. And today I thought maybe we can come up with some cool, like a capital city for an area that maybe combines a few mountain peaks that are sticking out of the water. So it would be like a mountain, like it could be the only land that's left, and that's why it's valuable, because it's easier to build on the land than on the sea or in the air. So we'll have like a capital on a little atoll or something like that. And this here, let me switch this view. Boom. I can make this smaller, I guess. Yeah, so this little sketch here I kind of sketched today in the morning, just when I was thinking about what to do today on this stream. I'm gonna make music a little bit lower for myself. Hey, good morning, Solar Fun. How is it going? Did you continue with your drawings for the summer of world building? I remember you posted a nice air balloon in Discord. In the meantime, I will just go through some references for the stream for something like a mountain village. Let's take also some references for the mountains themselves, how they're gonna be sticking out of the water. These pictures are so cool. So I'm thinking there was, I mean, before the flood and all that stuff, there used to be some sort of a city high up in the mountains. That's why it wasn't flooded. And I mean, part of it maybe was flooded, and then more people came to the island because they were trying to escape from the water, and so the population grew and the city got bigger. So it's kind of like a hub for other villages who live on the water, and maybe they have some underwater mining as well, and they would need a platform for like air balloons and zeppelins and all that stuff. Student T says, hey, first of all, good morning, Student T. Welcome back. I have bad connection and can't stay very long. I'm at my parents' place and are on the way out to the forest, but wanted to say hi. Hey, great. Thanks a lot for stopping by to say hi. That's always appreciated. And I hope you have a good day in the forest. Can get some fresh air and some nature that can restore your energy a little bit. Thanks for stopping by. As I was saying, the mountain village. So it's gonna be like a combination of everything. There's gonna be a harbor and like a floating platform and some mountain buildings, whatever that means. So we probably will need references for mountain villages, but also for like harbors and something like that. So let's see, what else can we find? This world, I guess, would be very low energy. I mean, you don't have that much space to get, I don't know, coal for electric energy and anything like that. So probably it would be like more, it would look more rural than modern day cities. So like I guess it would be more something like this stuff built with natural materials, because you can't really produce any other material. Okay. Oh, I misspelled mountain. Maybe that's why the results are so bad. Mountain. Same good old results. Let's actually also save this. I kind of sometimes doubt if I should save references from other artists, you know, because I think like, oh, but like if you get ideas from concept artists, you're kind of not really stealing, but you can draw the same thing more likely because it's already drawn. You don't need to imagine it in a way. But on the other hand, it's, I don't know, it's all copying from each other and getting inspired. So I guess as long as you're cautious about taking others' ideas and like make sure to transform them in something, I guess it's okay. This is actually super cool. I really like the style of the buildings. Maybe we will do something like that for the architectural style of the city, because we kind of never had something like that. I always draw mid-European kind of / Mediterranean house type. So that might be really cool. And finally, let's get some references for a harbor. Harbour Island, let's say. That's completely different. Maybe bird's eye view. Yeah, something like that. I think like this. Just to kind of just as a quick references for the docks and like how this stuff is laid out. Just to see, you know, what's the distribution of ships in a regular harbor and something like that. So I guess that would work. Maybe this can also work, because here we can see where all the ships are and how they're spaced. Alright, so we're kinda done with references now. So if you want to get references, you would need to type ! refs like this, and then you get the link. And I kind of collect links from all the previous streams here as well, so it's a bit messy, but you can get something to get inspired there. So let's see. Let's sketch some more ideas, I guess. All right, I'm just wondering if I want to like zoom in on this part and start drawing the city, or if I should do it kind of with being zoomed out. But let's just start planning maybe first where the city could be. Maybe it's, I mean, there should be like a lighthouse type of thing here, maybe, to let people know where is the entrance. Let's actually pick something brighter so it's more visible, maybe. Alright, so the lighthouse would be somewhere maybe like here. Could have, it kind of will define the scale, so we can have a lighthouse like this big here, and then you would understand that like the regular house is maybe this big, so it's kind of very small atoll. Ain't no mountain high enough. Hey, good morning there, Onion. Welcome to the stream. How is it going there? Any fun art to share? New models or sketches? I'm doing alright. Kinda happy to have an easy morning with streaming and just chilling. Yeah, so we can draw like a big lighthouse, you know, and then it will define the scale, but we can also draw like a small one like this, and then it will be a completely different scale of the whole thing. I can't remember what I have shown you last time. can't remember either, but you were working on, I think, on a game with your friend, or something like, or modeling your own world. Why did it flip? So we can have a lighthouse maybe a little smaller like that. And also if we pull out our reference for this style of buildings, I like that they're all angular and they have pretty cool roofs. I was modeling the sci-fi skyscraper. Ah, yeah. The sci-fi skyscraper. True, there was a very cool like world without, like with two groups of people divided, and like one had technology, one had kind of natural resources. I remember now, I think. I'm using ping just to differentiate from the background so it's easier to see what I'm drawing. So maybe the capital city would be like here with like buildings and harbor. And there would be like a platform here for air balloons and all that stuff. I've not been drawing much since then. Alright, maybe next time. Maybe there could be like a cable car here. There would be like a high city and a low city. Maybe there could be like some cool district names. And also, I don't really have a name for this city, so we can brainstorm some cool ideas. How to call this harbor. We also don't have really the name for the world and everything, so it's all kind of open. I don't even know what language people would speak. I mean, if it's based on the real world, probably Chinese English, something in between Chinese and English, I guess, would develop something like a mixture. Oh, oops. Chinese English, yeah. Something like that. Alright, so that would be like a city part, maybe with some more houses here and there, maybe something like another lighthouse or like a watchtower on top, or maybe there would be like a big castle or a small castle, one of those two things. And then here we would have also some sort of fortifications, I guess, to protect the city from people who can rob it, like, I don't know, sci-fi Vikings. And here would be also, I guess, like small villages or districts of this whole thing. And maybe, you know, maybe you can't really live everywhere because there are rocks and it's hard to build houses, so we can kind of populate it only in some areas, like in the little valleys and where it would be more likely to be possible to build something. Could also have like a big gate here, maybe, just to have some sort of fun feature for this whole capital thing. Maybe they're like big gates that that let the water in, but can defend against ships and raiders. I don't know, something like that maybe. What's missing? We have a platform. Maybe there is like an air balloon here to kind of make it more clear. What is this platform for? Maybe there's some more people living here and maybe more cable cars. People can kind of live everywhere though, so I don't think it will be that hard to come up with a way to build a house, especially if it's covered in woods. So we can also maybe add another layer underneath with some color. So it's kind of more clear that it's forest, not just rock. Maybe it's not always forest, but like in some places we can add some more green stuff, especially on this side where the main part of the capital is. Maybe not so much inside the city itself. I'm not able to wake up. Feels like I'm still half asleep. How are you? Poor thing. Did you get some tea or coffee? Sometimes eating something helps to wake up. Take a 15-minute nap. I just got up. 15 minutes of sleep is better than 1 hour of chill. Something we were taught in the military. That's an interesting take on that. Did you like use it on yourself? Did you have to cut down your sleep when you could chill? I guess it makes sense. Just 15-20 minute nap really helps to get the sleep you didn't get at night sometimes. I think when you're in this state, you're sometimes trying to chill harder than you should, and because of that it doesn't really work. I have some fake coffee, let's see. Nice. I have some real coffee. Cheers. That onion says, yes, we rarely got good night's sleep, so 15-minute nap when you ever got to sit down or whatever was worth taking. That sounds rough. But I guess it might be a good skill to have when you're out of military as well, because you can kind of more effectively relax when you have a moment. I mean, I guess like if you're commuting to work or something like that, if you learn that skill to sleep anywhere for a few minutes, maybe that's a good thing to know how to do. Let's also paint those further little islands. With Procreate and in general digital drawing, it's really easy to not go into complete grayscale, because it's kind of like you really need to pull to the very end of the circle. So whenever you're not in the center, or whenever you're not at the outside of the circle, you always have some color in your grays and blacks and whites, and that really helps with not having a dirty color palette. I think. Because when I'm painting with watercolors, sometimes I have to like manually add color, but here it's like almost automatic, which is kind of cheating. Nervous. It reminds me of the ultra marathon documentaries I watched lately, as those people also just take 15-20 minute naps to not lose too much time. Oh yeah, Nervin told me yesterday a crazy ultra marathon that happens in the United States. It's like it's going for 36 years or 35 years or something like that, and it's very selective. You need it. It's almost free. I think it costs $1.60 or something like that to participate, but you need to write a motivation letter why you want to run it, and it's about like almost 200 kilometers through wild forests and mountains and all that stuff, and the route changes every year, and it kept secret, and nobody knows until I think like a few days before the run where it's gonna be or something like that, or what's the exact route. They know where it's gonna be, but they don't know the exact route, and they have to like go through some like riddles basically to figure out what's the route and how to not get lost there. And they can't use their cell phones, they only use the compass and wristwatch that they're getting from the organizer. So it's like, it's crazy. The Donian says, yes, there are quite a few well-known people in history who would sleep only 2-4 hours a night and take naps whenever needed to stay in peak performance, mentally peak performance. These were scientists and writers, mainly, I believe. I've heard something like that about like Leonardo da Vinci, that he would sleep like 15 minutes every 2 hours. And I also, at some point, a friend of mine and I were really like into these sleep studies, and we read a lot of papers on like how to cut down your sleep and like how that works, and on people who sleep like 4 hours a day in total. And the wristwatch just shows the time. It's very basic, like a timer when you start. Oh yeah, I will I will talk more about the challenge maybe in a second. But Wait, I think I lost my mind, lost my thought. Where was? Oh yeah, the sleep deprivation. Because I don't know, I never liked to sleep. It always felt like a waste of time. Like it's necessary and it feels good at the end, like when you finally get some sleep. But it always feels like, oh, you have to just lay down for 8 hours and like recover your energy, and it's stupid. Like, can you sleep less? Because then you can, I don't know, have more fun and do more interesting things. So I was reading a lot on that, and apparently theoretically you can, like anyone basically can learn how to sleep for hours a day, but you need to keep like a very tight schedule. You train your mind and brain and body to fall asleep at specific times, but because of these time periods, like I think it's every 2 hours for 15 minutes or something like that, but then if you miss it, it's really hard to get back. So it's hard to keep that with social life and with modern day life in general. I think like you need to have a very specific job that can allow that, and like very specific set of friends and family who understand that, or who would, or I don't know, who wouldn't get mad that every 2 hours you're unavailable or something like that. So yeah, don't know, that's fascinating to me. And apparently it's not like really unhealthy. You, as long as you like slowly transition into it and keep this very specific schedule, apparently not, as far as I understood, like that's okay. It's just very hard to keep up, but you can, it's not like you're gonna die sooner because of that. Oh, by the way, Streamlabs just posted some links, so if you want to keep updated on stuff or want to share your art, go ahead and join Discord and Instagram and all those good things. Also, I think the iPad just got stuck. Let's see. Let's try this again. Nervin says, oh yeah, but isn't it unhealthy in the long run? I don't think so. That onion says, I used to sleep only 5 hours a night, but it affected my productivity heavily. Now I sleep 8 or more, not really following a rule, but whatever is needed to feel good. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I think it's also like the time when you sleep is very personal in a way and really important, because as long as you wake up at a certain time, you can, like, your body will tell you when to go to sleep. And sometimes it's later, sometimes it's earlier, but as long as you listen to that and go to sleep when you feel sleepy and don't miss that moment, then I think that's like it can be less than 8 hours but still feel good, although it's sleep is really personal. I think my mother lives on 4 to 6 hours sleep every night, and how she does it was always crazy to me. This is Nervin. Yeah, I sometimes feel like my mother is also sleeping. Like if you sleeping like 4 hours a day, if you count all the times she had to stay awake for work and all that stuff, like you can count a lot of missed hours of sleep. Some people live on the willpower, I think, in a way. Like they don't allow themselves to not be able to do that. Some people do feel good waking up early and like sleeping less because it gives them fulfillment, I guess, because they can do more or feel accomplished from stuff they do. Not really my case though. I think our mothers are very similar in that regard, with just staying up to work for all and all that. Yeah, probably they are. My mother is probably watching the stream. Hi Mom. It's funny. Alright, let's also do the ocean. I think the easier way to do it would be just to pick some color and just bloop. Nope, maybe something brighter. Looks kind of weird. Hello, says Nervin to my mom. I had a year in my life when I was going to bed at like very early in the morning. I think like, I don't know, 6 o'clock or 5. And I had it like for a whole year when I would not sleep until 5 or 6 or 7 and then go to bed and then wake up at like 12 or 1 and feel really refreshed and happy, and then just have a normal day. But usually I would do kind of nothing during the day or just have fun or meet friends, and then in the evening or at night I would kind of feel more productive to work. And I don't know, I felt kind of good this whole year. Which is a bit weird if you think about it, like with this sleep regime. Maybe this should have been more blue, this gray thing that I'm doing. It's, in general, I feel like it's really interesting to see how work attitude and like I don't know, the attitude towards work, not like work attitude at work, but mostly attitude towards work changes with time. Because I feel like people used to value work much more, like value the like having a job much more, and were much more attached to it than now. And it was kind of, you know, if you have a career that's you're accomplished, is it also like a lake inside the mountains. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Let's change the brush. Yeah, so I feel like it was much more valued before, kind of, or important, let's put it this way, for people themselves to have a job. Because nowadays it feels like it's more of just a choice, like a personal choice, if you want it and not, and how you want it. And like there are people who don't want to work that much, and they just add a couple of free days to their week, or I don't know, some specific schedule or something like that, and that's completely normal. Whereas I feel like before, I don't know, especially I guess in Soviet Union, it would be something very much being frowned upon, because like being lazy is a crime. Whereas nowadays people realize that being lazy is actually the sign of, I don't know, mishappiness with what you do, in a way. It doesn't always have to be a challenge. Like you don't always have to overcome things to feel accomplished. And I feel like that was kind of more of a idea before. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think about that? I feel like before, if you work hard, it doesn't matter how you feel. This what you're supposed to do, and you kind of didn't have any other option. And nowadays people start kind of inventing those options and understanding that like it's more important, I don't know, to be mentally healthy than to work a lot and have a great career, which is, I don't know, kind of interesting in a way. And I think it's a step in the right direction. It's just gonna take a little bit. Let's add maybe some more lighter colors here and there. I mean, at least it's starting to be that way. I feel like it's not there yet, but it's getting there. That Onion says, I believe that there's also so many different types of people. Some say mentalist, some stay mentally stable by only brute forcing the work, whereas others just follow the flow of life. I'm a big supporter of 30-32 hours work week, and neither is necessarily bad. I don't know, Onion. I feel I have this kind of, I don't know, maybe optimistic feeling, or kind of like an inner humanitarian in me thinks like, I think people who have to brute force themselves onto work to feel happy are doing the wrong thing. Like not necessarily bad, but they're just doing the wrong work. They just, because of the society, or because of their circumstances, or because of their own will, they just didn't find the right job for them. Because I feel like there is stuff that everybody likes to do. It's just kind of hard to find for a lot of people, because we're not really taught to find a job that suits us. We're taught to find a job in school, kind of, or at least that's impression I get, that like you learn to force yourself to work on stuff you don't like or don't understand or don't think is necessary. And this is what you get out of school. And this is completely wrong attitude to life in general, I think. Maybe, I personally just got into my third career, so I more or less go with the flow. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's the matter of realizing that you're doing something that, like, that you're forcing yourself to do something and asking yourself why you do that. And if the reason is because you like forcing yourself and you like the challenge and that what brings you happiness, great. But if the answer is because I'm afraid to change the job, or because I don't know what else to do, or because, I was put into the specific school to learn this and I don't know anything else, that's a different thing. This is something some people find idiotic, having wasted many years in schools. Being stuck in a bad job is the worst. I was like that with my first job. And it's really hard to do something about it in a way, because especially if it's your first job and you're young and you don't like understand or don't really believe in yourself or something like that. Like, I guess everybody have fears and insecurities. I've doubled my pace since then and now do the work I love. Hey, this is incredible, man. Like, this is exactly what I mean. Just try. If you're unhappy, try out another thing. And I always had this attitude towards all of my projects, I tried a lot of things. I tried making podcasts, radio, and I don't know, writing music. Tried to do it for film or composing for games, stuff like. Tried to learn that. Tried to have like a sketchbook project with posting tasks and all that stuff, and I don't know, nothing stayed in a way. And I always tend to think like, oh, well, there you go, you're just failing at everything you start. But on the other hand, you can say, hey, you tried a lot of things, none of them stuck, but you have this experience. And it's more important to have experience of trying stuff out and failing than trying stuff out and then being afraid of trying something else. The more you fail, the thicker your skin gets in a way, as long as you are ready to fail. This stream just got much more philosophical than I expected, but that's good. I like our conversations. What do we do with this now, though? Do we add more stuff? I kind of like the idea of drawing the side view of this, so maybe we'll just... What's this? Oh, that looks like a completely different sketch, this layer. It could be like a boat of some sort. Don't know why it's a Viking boat, but apparently it is. You wouldn't even know that there is a Viking boat behind it, except of this little thing sticking out. Let's make this smaller. Whoops. Let's sketch some side views. I like to turn on drawing guide for just horizontal and vertical lines sometimes. You know, like if we would have the water base here, and then we can have like mountains maybe here. One can go up, one can go a little lower. Maybe the tallest mountain is actually like on this side. So there is this one and some like this stone fingers sticking out of the water. There is this little strait. Oh, actually, no, my mom is not watching today. So take your hello back, Nervin. I can't pass it on. Unfortunately. There should be this little island with a lighthouse. This gives it, I think, a little bit more understanding of how high and tall all this stuff is. High and tall, which are completely different things, as you know. Nervin says you can pass it on later. Okay. The Donian says, but yeah, I think some of those brute forcing people do find their place in management jobs which can fit their personality. But there has been many studies that people who actually love their work are about 30% more efficient in their line of work. That makes total sense to me. And that's why it's such a pity that people get stuck at work, and the whole I don't know, the whole government is like society structure is targeted towards people finding the job as quick as possible instead of the best job that would fit them as possible. And because of that, a lot of people work on the stuff that just gets to pay their bills, and they feel unhappy and they get grumpy. And I think grumpy. And I think on the other hand, a lot of people don't realize that it's changeable, you know, that they can actually choose something different. And because of that, it creates, like, it kind of pushes all these thoughts how unhappy you are about your work in subconsciousness, and just like kind of bottles up it inside, and then people have these like breakdowns and mental stress and all these issues, just because like they subconsciously always feel trapped, you know, because they are doing something that they didn't really choose that much, but they can't, like, they don't feel like they can change it. Kind of sad if you think about it. My father always told me, it sounds like a beginning of a good story. My father always told me, you don't need to like your job, it's just a job. Yeah, I heard that before as well. I believe that is true as long as the bad job is a mean to an end, but not the long-term goal. Yeah, I think it all kind of, in everyone says, I also grew up with that it's a job attitude. My father didn't like his job, and it is just what people do to pay the bills, and everyone doesn't like it. Yeah, there is this notion of job being a job, and like you can't, you don't have to like it, you just need to do it. And I feel like my parents didn't really say that, but I feel like that's in a way their attitude as well, to some extent. Although they did support us in trying to find something that would suit us and all that part. So I didn't really grew up with this attitude, but I don't know, I felt that attitude from everywhere else, and I can see that, and it's not really like questioned in a way, right? I also think it's a generation thing. Oh yeah, our parents have lived in a totally different time. Yeah, I mean, every few decades you start living in a new reality. So the stuff that people were historically trained to do is irrelevant. The way people used to be a society is becoming more and more irrelevant because it's based on old traditions that don't matter anymore, or have changed so dramatically that you can't really rely on them. And that's really interesting because a lot of people like kind of try to catch on, or like hold on to old habits, old traditions, and justify them and find a way to like to say that they have to stay, even if it's just because of the tradition. And I think you can see it the most probably in politics. Exactly, and I come from the countryside where you just take what you get, I guess, especially if it was 50 years ago. This is Nervin. Yeah, completely different lifestyle, like, and expectations and possibilities as well. I feel like I'm just smearing paint around. I don't like that. I need to find a better way to do it. Maybe let's take a bigger brush. Can I make this brush bigger? Taper? No. Let's try this again. Shape. Rotation count. Jitter, randomize, some maybe properties. Why is maximum size so small? Does anyone know how this works? Oh wait, maybe this. Okay, not really, but that's good direction. Dynamics, no, color dynamics. Should be in the shape somewhere, right? Oh, I can edit shape source. Can't do anything with this shape. Damn it. Alright, let's try to work with this thing then. Don't think this is gonna do the thing. Maybe I'll just take like a round opacity brush and do it the good old way. I think I can just do this and then fill the form. And this same kind of argument with work and different generations having different opportunities and mindsets towards it also applies heavily to education, I think, and because it's like one comes from the other in a way. And currently our education system lacks all the knowledge from the past like 30 years in a way, like in the way people should not really behave but live in the society. And I think because of that, a lot of young people who get out of school, they're also kind of lost, because like, what do you do? All right, let's call this an island. I think I messed up the taper. Yeah, now it's better. I think doesn't seem like we'll be getting to the traditional stuff. I'm getting name vibes from this city. It's very crown-like. Yeah, I can see that. Crown. I wonder what's crown in Chinese. The Crown Atoll, or the Crown Bay, Crown Town. What? Not sure Crown Town sounds good. Sounds like a gangster place. Yeah, you don't mess up with people from Crown Town. Crown in traditional Chinese appears to be Wang Guan. If Google Translate is to be trusted, which it isn't. Let's see how it sounds. I think I can pull it up on my phone. I'm Curious. From English to Chinese. Traditional. Crown town. In my version it says Huangguangzhen. I hope people who know Chinese don't watch this stream. Huangguangzhen. Okay, but that probably would be too hard to pronounce repeatedly. So let's call it the Crown Bay. Crowning Bay? No, Crown Bay. Crown Harbour. Crown. What else can be? Crown Bay. So cool. What is this? Oh, that's the line work. Let's keep it for now. Let's add some green stuff. I think I want to add it on a separate layer just in case. Crown in Swahili is Taji. Taji Wild. Why is it Wild? Wild is like French. Why is it Swahili French combination? This is troubling. Taji sounds really good though. I wonder where is the stress. Maybe it's Taji. In Finnish it's kruunu. Crown. Yeah, that's guessable. Kruunu. Okay, let's start from the other side. Where could this shape be in the world? Like, if the world is flooded, right? You would get this shape from some sort of like crater, like Hawaii right now. So that probably would be somewhere in the high in the mountains, like Alps or maybe Himalayan mountains. If it would be in Himalayan mountains, it probably would be called in Indian or Chinese. Most likely one of those two. On the other hand, if it's in the Alps somewhere, what if it's, I don't know, maybe it's Matterhorn, and then it would be more like French or German or Gaelic or some sort of like the old school language, you know, one of the dead languages of that area. Maybe because African countries were colonized by French, so it's Tajiville. That's a valid point. They were colonized. Tagiville. I think it's not like ville is not really capital sounding, right? Like it's a village. We understand that. But this is like a capital of, or like a trading hub. I think it deserves a better, like a better description than a village. Maybe it could. What if people use these old Swiss languages? I mean, languages that were around Switzerland, like the band, like there is this metal band LUVT. I think they sing half of, or parts of their songs in this dead language. Can't remember the English name of this language. Helvetian or something like that. Wonder if there is like a crown word in that language. Maybe some more lush greenery. I guess there would be more jungle-like or forests or plants, because there is more humidity in the air, because there is more water. Makes sense, right? To have more like lush green forests in European countries. Is it in the middle of the sea or near a continent? That's the problem of the new Earth. There are not so many continents left. So I would think, you know, like if it's in the Alps, then you would see, let's actually go Alps. Let's go to Alps. Also, let's reconnect to the thing. For some reason it disconnected again. Come on. Come on, iPad. You can do it. No, you can't do it. Okay. Let's do it again. Maybe I should finally pay for some kind of sharing app. All right, so we have Alps here, right? We're going on an adventure. These are Alps. Can we see them in terrain? Perfect. And we don't need details. All right. So here we have Alps. Let's say, so if Earth is flooded, and then we have this thing, maybe somewhere, let's let's pick a place, maybe somewhere like, I don't know, here, you know, if this lake is that lake, then oh, we have a village here, Vernago, Vernagt, and also Madonna di Sinales Unser Frau. I use Air Server for mirroring iPad. I would say it's worth the price tag. I tried it. I tried the free version, free trial, and then I bought it, and it was, I couldn't even connect, and then I just got the refund because I was like, okay, I'll deal with it later. Maybe I need to give it another try. But what does vernagt mean in German? There is also a really cool thing called Gravant. Let's call it the capital, like crown of Gravant or something like that. I feel like this is a cool name. Grawand. Narvan, I need your help. What does vernagt mean? So I didn't finish the thought. Alright. We have our village here, right? And this mountain is somewhat, yeah, it's kind of tall, like 3.2 thousand meters, right? So all the smaller mountains around it would be underwater, right? So all the smaller mountains would be underwater, and all the taller mountains will create same kind of clusters, like same villages or cities. Maybe some of them would be less inhabitable because they're steeper hills there or something like that. But I still don't know what vernagt means. Nerven, help. Alright, let's draw some more of these lush green forest here on the sides. And now some more of the darker green on the other side. Bit colder green just for the shadow parts of these forests. Maybe it should be even darker. Maybe less cold. Let's mix these two colors a little bit. Something along these lines would work, I guess. The annoying thing about this Apple Pencil, can I complain? I can. Anyway, annoying thing about this Apple Pencil is that there is this gesture when you double tap it. It shows up this little circle, and then you can select the color, which is really handy. But like when you grab it, when you're moving it in your arms, in your hands, it does it automatically, and then you tap sometimes it has this circle underneath your arm, like here, and then you don't see it because your arm is on that, and you try to draw and it suddenly brings up this thing, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to change the color, but now I have to because I can't let it go. And yes, I know you can tap on this hold and it will bring the previous color, but this also doesn't always work. Like if you tap it not straight down, then it doesn't do anything except of this. But you see my problem? Thank you. Complaining about Procreate over. Thanks for listening. I mean, I guess a good way to resolve a complaint like that would be to go to Procreate suggestion board and just put a ticket there, like, hey guys, can you do something about this color picker? I wonder what you can do about it though. Not sure there is much, like, there is a way to solve it. Maybe a way to solve it would be like if you double tap and you select this, or if you double tap again it disappears. That would be a solution. Don't like this one. That's better. I wish Procreate supported shortcuts, etc. from external keypads. That would be a big step as well. Do you use external keyboards? I kinda was thinking about it, but then realized that like, I sort of also have a laptop, so I can use that for typing and stuff like that, but never really thought about it from the drawing point of view. Like, it would be really handy to have, like, on the left hand maybe like a little keypad with, like, you know, 10 buttons or whatnot, or even just like the magic keyboard, whatever it is, this iPad stuff. On PC I usually had a Bluetooth numpad for shortcuts. Yeah, something like that would help. And you know, like, if you're using Procreate, you are using iPad, and with iPad, like, you can probably use this USB-C connector to connect like an, I don't know, a dongle to plug the keyboard in, or a little extra pad, you know. But maybe, I don't know, maybe eventually they'll do that. Let's add some extra light trees, I think, on the foreground. It's a nice song about zombies playing right now, suddenly. I haven't been uploading the videos on YouTube because I'm using copyrighted music, but I was thinking maybe to still upload them with maybe like higher speed and with just some placeholder music on top. Maybe it will increase the flow of people to the channel. Don't know. Alright, let's do some lighter rocks, I guess, as well. Maybe they're more like in the yellow direction because there's sun there. There are iPad keyboards and keyboard cases, or just Bluetooth in a regular keyboard, or via dongle. I got a dongle for the laptop, so I was thinking, and I accidentally got two of them. So I think actually about using the other one for the iPad maybe. I have this Logitech Slim Folio case with a keyboard, right? Is it any good, or like isn't it too thick, or you know, are you happy with it? Nervin says, I'm back with coconut soup for breakfast. Are you living in Thailand right now? Coconut soup for breakfast on Sunday. Not pancakes. Coconut soup. Then guten Appetit. Coconut soup sounds good though. Didn't have breakfast yet, so maybe we will. Well, we still have maybe half an hour to stream, so I guess I will wait a little bit. This one wouldn't have much of a light, just a little bit. Coconut soup sounds sweet, quite literally, I guess, as well, because it's coconut. I was craving savory, and I thought, why not? I'm an adult. I can eat what I want and what my body needs. That's a good realization on Sunday morning. Like, hey, I'm an adult. I can eat stuff. I combined all the layers now, so if something goes wrong, there is no turning back, except of almost infinite undo buttons. Let's make it a little bit more accurate, I guess. Next week I need to eat hospital food, so better eat all the good stuff now. Yeah, that makes sense. Just like a hamster, stuff as much as you can. Just hold on to it until you go to the hospital. Little reflection of the sky, I guess, would be appropriate in some places like this. When there are clear rock, I guess there would be some blue on it. It's more of a guess though. A fun fact, taste is 80% smell. Speaking of food, I think 80% of taste that you taste actually comes through nose. And also some part comes from looking at it. So actually the real taste is not as big of a deal as the smell and the look. I mean, it is more of a deal than the look, of course, but the look also helps. Kind of like human communication, you know, like that it's, what is it, 80% body language or something like that. So it doesn't matter what you say, like your body will say it for you anyway. Which is, you know, sounds kind of funny to me. That our bodies are better at talking to each other than we are. Oh yeah, I recently my soup doesn't smell. well, then it also doesn't taste. The onion says, oh yeah, I recently heard that also the lighting in a restaurant affects how the food will taste. The same goes with sounds. I was listening to a podcast the other day where a guy was explaining their I don't remember which podcast it was. I think maybe it was 20,000 hertz, or maybe it was 99% invisible. One of those two. I haven't listened to them in a while though. But yeah, the guy was. It doesn't affect the real taste, but the mental image. Yeah, and the guy was explaining their experiments with sounds and food, and they were giving participants, I think, the same food to eat, and were playing different music or something like that, or not music, but like specific sounds, just like white noise or like some low sine waves or something like that. And then they were kind of like getting the responses from people, and it turned out that it does, like, this sound effect kind of does affect the way people consume things, and including food. And like, I think it's kind of the same effect as when in shopping malls they turn on music because it makes people shop more, or like in supermarkets and all that stuff. That makes also sense. There is that saying in German that the eye will eat with you. The eye will eat with you. It's a strange saying, to be honest, but there is also, I think, similar saying in Russian, that kind of like eating with your eyes. The onion says, my eyes always eat too much. I know what you mean. It's hard to translate. Das Auge isst mit. The eye eats with you. How about this kind of mist to separate the foreground and background a little bit? I will remove some of these extra things here where it bled into the foreground. So it's more clear what's in front, what's behind. What an interesting chill morning song. I don't eat too much. I eat too much. I see what you did there. Let's switch this song because it's a little too screamy. What is it doing there actually? Wait a second. Where is it playing? How do I remove from this playlist? Okay. Alright, let's get back to it. I feel like this side is a little like too steep. Maybe it would have some more variation. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong layer. Now we're talking. This brush, it has like one side very straight and another side more rough, and you see like this side is more straight on this side is less straight, like less sharp, let's put it this way. That's why sometimes like I need to turn my canvas to get the sharp side in for these rocks, for instance. My eyes are eating too much. I think it's time to get rid of these lines just by blending them with the rest of the foreground. Just taking this green color next to the line and kind of going over the line. I think I need a bigger brush. Funny enough, even though this stream is about drawing the capital, I haven't. I just realized I haven't even started drawing houses on this. Ah, damn it. What do we do, team? Maybe we can draw houses next stream. Kind of, don't know, just feel like spending more time on the island itself is kind of fun. Getting rid of the black lines is actually quite fun because it makes the painting look kind of much more, you know, complete in a way, or kind of more finished, less sketchy. But it's, I kind of haven't really figured out the like a good method for that yet. It's just like the way I do it is just going over the lines with this brush and just blending it all together. But maybe there are better ways, like if you from the start don't use the black lines but use lines appropriate, the color appropriate for the material, you know, like if you're sketching out the rocks, maybe use gray. If you're sketching out the hills with forest on top, just use some green or something like that. Maybe that's the next step for me. Maybe a little blurry in the background. Not like that though. A little less sharp. Don't know if it works. Maybe some more highlights as well. This one. Nervin says, I saw people having the line sketch on a separate layer and make it very transparent when they go in with color. That's also an option. Yeah. I tried making it not just transparent, but like put it into blending modes, so it kind of like takes the color from the bottom layers. But maybe it's just the way I sketch, it kind of never feels right, you know? So more research is needed. Some more forests. I recently got into lighting a lot, not in terms of learning how to do it, but in terms of being interested in trying out something that I don't usually do with lighting, and kind of like think a little bit more about it. And it's been really fun, I must say. I will maybe show some more sketches in a few moments that I did before. You see what I mean? Sometimes the double tap doesn't work, sometimes it works, but in the wrong time. Maybe I'm just using Procreate wrong, but it's kinda annoying. Experiments are needed. I experience lag with the tabs sometimes. Yeah, maybe it's just the problem with the Apple Pencil itself. Okay. And inconsistency. Actually, let's switch Tom Waits. Tom waits for the next stream to say what he wants to say. Would be funny if there is a person named Tom who is watching right now. Tom waits. We'll need to work on more sky variation, I guess, like some gradients there maybe, or something like that. Or maybe it's kind of irrelevant actually, because the main idea is this capital city that I haven't drawn. What's the main focus of this image? Well, as you can see, it's the capital image, capital city of Gravand. Let's add some shadows. trying to blend the sky and the sea, but it kind of looks like poop. So let's scratch that. What if I take airsoft brush? It's too much. Maybe I can blend with the smudge tool. Let's blend those layers together. Actually, let's blend all of them, whatever. Who cares? We need to bring some of the green into the water, I think. I don't really like this. I mean, I like this, but I think it's too early for this. It should come when the city is in place. Let's add some water effects. What if I turn on the drawing assist for more horizontal strokes? Does it help or does it distract? That's the question. You think it helps? Maybe there's just a little too much of it. Let's just add a few small strokes. Maybe even brighter. Chlebs. I think it's chlebs. Chleb in Russian is bread. I think it breads. That's your Russian influence. It is, yeah. Chlebs. It chlebs. Does it chleb? Yes, it chlebs. Alright, let's what shall we do now? I kinda feel like adding another layer here. For a little better separation of the foreground and background. Shall we put everything together? Probably yes. I'm trying to be less afraid of drawing on one layer because it helps to, I don't know what it helps. I guess helps to be more sure about what you're doing, or trust your instincts, or make mistakes. I guess it also helps. Oops. I theoretically can keep the image straight. Oh, also, I think iPad disconnected again. Did it not? Yes, it did. And it's back. Sorry about that. We'll try AirPad again, maybe for the next time. Alright, let's do some buildings. We'll have like 10 minutes left, or maybe 15. Not like I have any other plans, but I would like to eat. I think first I'll just sketch some buildings, and maybe, just maybe, I will try to sketch them in color straight away. Let's get our reference up. I can actually, you know what I can do? I can use like more of a square brush, maybe like this. Yeah. Something like that, maybe bigger, and then turn on the drawing assist, so I will draw straight lines vertically. And then I can kind of plan out this maybe a little more grayish and darker, because I need to leave room for highlights as well. Something like that. Maybe like that would be the little lighthouse building. Oh. And then we would have some more buildings on this side, maybe like a fortress. It's a little too big for regular houses. And then we'll go over the same houses with the darker color to bring the shadows in, and it will kind of hopefully all work together. Like maybe I won't even need to add details to these houses because they will be enough information for the viewer to kind of make it up themselves. Just need not to forget the roofs, I guess, a little bit. Are there more images from with this style? This is kind of similar. Let's save it just because it's cool. Alright, then it will be like these kind of houses. And on the other side of this little island as well. Looks really epic with those buildings. Let's zoom out. It will look even epicer in a few moments, hopefully. Or it will just look messy. There could be like a the kind of like maybe towers. For defense, and I wanted to have gates there, I think. So maybe this will be like a gate place. This, I guess, too low. Something like that. Solar Fun. Hello again. I'm recently interested in 3D modeling, where you can draw landscapes nowadays, not twiggling with numbers and XYZ as like 10 years ago. Yeah, I feel you. I also recently got into 3D modeling, into Blender basically, and it's so different than what it used to be when I was studying, which was what, like 9 years ago, 10 something. It feels much more like intuitive and easy to me, at least. What are you modeling? Do you have a project, or are you just like learning? You want to share something? Maybe the gates are open right now. Let's keep them open. Maybe there are houses on this bridge as well. I feel like sculpting became really accessible. Like you can, I don't know, download Blender. It's like free software, and there you can just draw 3D stuff. Like, I don't know, this is exciting times. I also tried to. It's kind of fun to sketch something first and then draw, like redo it in 3D. It always feels like you're like no, it feels like magic to me in a way. Like when you can move the camera around the world that you just came up with a few moments ago, and then you can go there and like look around and add stuff and all these things. I don't know, I feel like it's very magical experience in a way. Maybe there is a big castle on this hill. Unintentionally quoting Ed Sheeran. Haven't done anything, just video watching. That's a start. Do you also want to try, or do you just get inspired by watching stuff? I also watch a lot of 3D modeling and model very little, so I can relate, I guess. Let's not forget to add some houses to behind the hills, like just the roofs. And I think I needed to make the brush smaller earlier, because now these buildings all look the same size, whereas they should be much smaller when they're further away. Maybe just here and there some roofs are sticking out from the forest. Maybe there's another castle. Just trying to populate this area without overdoing it, but it's kind of tough. You need a Windows PC for Unreal, which I have not, and I tend to start new things and never finish them. Oh, that's normal though. I feel like I just recently talked about it actually with a friend of mine, that it, like, you can look at it this way, or you can say that you're trying out different things and trying to find what what sticks with you, you know. And that's a different attitude. That's, I think it helps to keep yourself more motivated. In a way. You need Windows PC for Unreal. Do you want to, like, do you have to use Unreal? There are other game development engines that are also free, I think. But yeah, Unity is huge though in terms of capabilities. Haven't learned it at all, but also watched a lot of videos on how to do stuff in it, and it's always looking very impressive. Am I overdoing it? Or not yet? Let's see, now I can lock the layer, lock the what is it called, alpha lock the transparency. So now whenever I draw, I can't draw outside of the shapes that I have already drawn. So now I can just take this like a darker color, maybe move it a little bit around just for more something to know, painterly approach, and then we can go over the same thing with some of the darker ones and just add shadows, because some of the buildings will be completely in shadows, some will be just sticking out. Kind of immediately brings the light direction to the scene. Let's make it a bit bigger. So these buildings will be in the shadow. Maybe these ones too. Yeah, let's put them in the shadow. These ones, they're below. Some of them, I guess, will be tall enough to catch the sun, but most of them not. Now it's more understandable, I think, in terms of lighting and the city. But we need some sort of roof. And I don't really want to use the classic orange tiles. I don't know, got a little bit tired of them. So maybe the roofs will be just like dark slate. Is that a thing? We also can add some like dots for windows. Maybe that would help. It's a bit too dark. Maybe. think this helps a little bit with understanding the amount of buildings and kind of making them more building-like. Kinda like this drawing assist thingy. Maybe I need to turn off the alpha lock, because actually I can go with the roofs, like the roofs can stick out of this thing, and it will be even better with them sticking out. So alpha lock doesn't help in this case. I forgot the name of the capital again. Something Garibaldi. Oh, if Nervan is still here, can you help with the word Vernacht? There's a city called Vernacht. I was thinking about calling this one as well, something like that, but I don't want to call it anything I don't know what it means. What? Vernagt. I don't know, maybe the word is vernagen, if the word exists at all. Vernagen. Yeah, that's a word. So it's not a word. Then it's gonna be that ga word. Why do I always forget? Gravant. Let's just add it here. Crown of Gravant. Why not have this as a placeholder name for now? There is a word nagen, which is what rodents do. Eating? What do rodents do? Burrow? Burrow? Maybe? Or is it the way they eat with their teeth? It's kinda eating, nagen, munching. Like what hamsters do? Like stuff yourself with food. We're almost done with the roofs. Alright, we kind of have a city now. Maybe it's time to add some windows. Okay, last thing we add is little windows. Maybe even on a new layer. But with the drawing assist. Oh, that's too big. Just here and there on these like closer castles and buildings. Or on the bigger ones at least. Just kind of to show the maybe the scale a little bit. Kind of more structure or something like that. Alright. It is more like using the teeth to bite small bits or munch on wood. So, what would be the English word for it? I think I have it somewhere in my head, but I don't remember yet. Yeah, can't remember. It doesn't really matter anyway. Just adding some more shadows to the buildings here and there, especially the ones on the sun. Alright, let's add the reflection. Oh, wait, where is... We have lost vision. Yeah, sorry about that. This is the stupid 5K player. I mean, it's great because it's free and it works. But sometimes it doesn't, and then it sucks. Wonder if I make this a little bit transparent. Is it getting better? Not really. What did I want to do? Oh, I wanted to maybe duplicate this and duplicate this and then put these two together and then duplicate this again. Why did I duplicate it again? Let's just smear the stuff with the drawing assist on, so it's completely vertical, kind of. Feel like the lighter colors would spread more. Thanks for the update, Onion, though. Unfortunately, I can't always react in time. I hope you didn't sit without vision for a long time. But I think with this, actually, I would call this done. What do you think? I think next time we'll have it's gonna be last stream for June, so we'll still be doing some landscape. Maybe we'll work on this thing a little bit more. Who knows? But for now, oops, I hope you guys had a good time. I certainly did. Thank you all for stopping by, and have a good day and nice week, and take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Thank you all. Bye bye.